Good day everyone, my name is Princess Tahaya Sanlaubal, a member of Group 1. Today, me and my teammates will be talking about nanotechnology, a new branch of science. Without further ado, let's get to it. In our relentless pursuit of scientific and technological advancement, we find ourselves increasingly dealing with a realm invisible to the naked eye. This should come as no surprise. The information we seek is always present in nature, but we need specialized tools to uncover it. And this brings us to the nano world, a realm that, like other scientific domains, offers us both knowledge and the means to manipulate nature. So why nano? The term nano refers to a unit meaning 1 billionth, or 10 raised to the power of -9. For instance, a nanometer is 1 billionth of a meter. To put this into perspective, consider that a particle of beach sand is almost 10 times larger than a pollen grain. Nanostructures are all around us in nature. Catalysts, minerals, and various other particles are measured on a nanoscale. Even a single strand of DNA is about 3 nanometers wide. So, the importance of nanoscience deals with materials that are extraordinarily small, using specialized microscopes and other nano devices. Just as we are unaware of the air we breathe or the molecules constantly feeding our cells, we are all oblivious to these tiny particles. And that is why it is important that we take notice of these particles and sciences all around us. And now, for the other parts of our report, I will point you to my other teammates. Thank you.
So nanotechnology is about working with really tiny things like atoms and molecules. So it has led to cool stuff like microprocessors and fabrics that are super strong. So in the near future, nanotechnology is expected to bring more amazing breakthroughs in areas like health, environment, and security. So back in 1959, physicist Richard Feynman talked about how scientists could manipulate individual atoms and molecules. So the term nanotechnology was later coined by Professor Norio Taniguchi. So nanoscience and nanotechnology involved studying and using extremely small things in various fields like material science, engineering, physics, biology, and chemistry.
Now that we already have an idea on what is nanotechnology and how small it is, let's talk about the nanomanufacturing. So nanomanufacturing is like a building tiny things with a super small tools. So just like imagine making really tiny machine or materials at the scale of atoms and molecules. So it is all about creating and assembling things on a tiny scale, like 1,000 times smaller than a width of human hair. So nanomanufacturing is used to make incredibly small and precise products, revolutionizing industries like electronics, machines, and material science. Therefore, nanomanufacturing leads to the development of new products and improved materials. In nanomanufacturing, there are two main approaches. Number one, bottom-up fabrication. So this approach is like a building something by putting them together its tiniest part first. It's like starting with an individual atoms and molecules and then arranging them to create larger structure. So this approach is similar to building a Lego model, starting from the smallest pieces and gradually putting them together to form the final design. So bottom-up approach is used to create monostructure by assembling small components into larger structure. Number two is top-down fabrication. On the other hand, it is like carving out a big block on a material to create something smaller. It's like starting with a large pieces of material and then cutting them and stripping it down to desired size. Top-down approach is used to create nanostructure by reducing the size of a larger material to the nanoscale. So it is more on physical process. So these both approaches are essential in nanomanufacturing, with bottom-up focusing on building from small components and top-down focusing on reducing larger materials to nano size.
Good day everyone, I am Najera Najir and today I'm going to discuss the new approaches to the assembly of nanomaterials based from the application of principles in top-down and bottom-up fabrication, and this includes the deep thin lithography, self-assembly, chemical vapor depositions, nano-imprint lithography, molecular beam epitaxy, roll-to-roll processing, and atomic layer epitaxy. So first of all, the deep thin lithography is a method in which the tip of atomic force microscope is dipped into the chemical fluid and then utilized to write on the surface like an old-fashioned ink pen onto the paper. So, ang deep in lithography is more on like advanced version of the old-fashioned ink pen, whereas yung old-fashioned ink pen is yan yung mga ginagamit ng mga dating yung mga ancestors natin, like yung isang feeder is dinidip nila sa isang ink or something na ink siya para makasulat sila sa isang papel. So, however, the deep in lithography is more on like enhance siya, isa na siyang technology kung saan gumagamit na siya ng energy is like yung technology na to is automatic siya na pag ginamit mo siya, automatic siya na nagdi-dip sa isang ink then magsusulat siya. So next is the self-assembly. So self-assembly is it defect on approach wherein a set of components join together to mold an organized structure in the absence of an outside direction. So yung self-assembly naman is isa siyang technology kung saan kinukompose or pinag-iisa niya yung mga set component na para ma-organize or maka-structure sila ng isang things na without the help of the outside forces. For example nito is like yung parang yung process nito is para siyang yung process ng pag-compose o pagbuo ng mga DNA. For example is like yung DNA is like pinipili niya yung mga kailangan niya ng ingredient, like yung shape, yung structure, yung pattern bago nila mabuo yung isang DNA para maging isang cell. So next is the chemical vapor deposition. So ang chemical vapor deposition it is a procedure wherein chemical act in response to form a very pure high performance film. So dito naman sa chemical vapor deposition naman is yung mga chemical na nakukompose niya is nagre-result siya ng isang film or thin film na yung thin film na yun is nagagamit siya sa isang technology para ma-enhance yung isang technology. So, next naman is yung nano-imprint lithography. So, nano-imprint lithography is more on like advanced version din siya ng deep pen lithography kasi na may pagka-same function siya sa deep pen lithography. However, ang nano-imprint lithography is an enhanced version of it. It is a technology kung saan it is a technology na its method is generating nanoscales attribute by stamping or printing them into the surface. So, ang function ng technology na to is like automatic siya na nagpo-print. Then, ang pinagkaibahan nito sa deep pen lithography is kung saan yung deep pen lithography, yung ginagamit niya na ink is nasa outside siya. While the printer or the nano-imprint lithography is may function siya na may part yung appliances na yun na nilalagyan ng print para magamit ng technology na yun. Next is the molecular beam epitaxy. So, ang molecular beam epitaxy is, ito naman is, it is a one-manner for depositing extremely controlled thin film. So, dito is, ang kino-compose nito, yung pinag-iisa-isa nito, yung pinaka-main ingredient nito is molecular. Kung saan, yung molecular na yon is, nakaka-compose siya or nagre-resolve siya ng thin film, kung saan yung thin film na yon is, ini-enhance niya yung isang technology, yung function ng isang technology. For example, is yung technology na yun is pinag-uusapan natin is cellphone. So, yung mga part na nasa loob, yung mga internal part ng mga phone or yung cellphone is ang nakaka-enhance doon is yung mga molecular beam epitaxy. For example is yan yung mga off-take energy na ginagamit ng mga electronics. So next is the rule-to-rule processing. Ang rule-to-rule processing naman is a nanotechnology. It is a very bully practice for constructing nanoscale devices on a rule of all protein, plastic, or metal. Ito naman is a nanotechnology siya kung saan nakaka-result, yung napoproduce niya is napakanipis na mga plastic or metal na yung technology na to is for example, pinaka-main example nito na napoproduce is yung mga film at saka yung mga foils kasi na yung napoproduce ng technology na to is yung things na napoproduce niya is flexible siya, hindi siya madali nababali, hindi siya basta rubber yung mga parang may protection siya na rubber para hindi siya madali ma-damage. So, next naman is yung atomic layer epitaxy. Yung atomic layer epitaxy is more on like an enhanced version of molecular. Ang main component nito or main ingredient ng nanotechnology na to is atomic. So, this atomic layer epitaxy it is a means for laying down one atom thick layer on a surface. Kung yung molecular beam epitaxy is ini-enhance niya yung isang function or mga properties ng isang cellphone, ang atomic layer epitaxy naman is mas ini-enhance niya yung function ng isang cellphone. Kasi, kung ang, for example nito is, kung ang molecular beam is, ang purpose nito is ini-enhance, for example, is magbigay ng energy sa isang part ng mga part ng cellphone. Ang atomic layer naman nito is, ang pinagkaiba nila is, ang atomic layer naman is, siya yung nagko-control kung gaano kalaki or yung energy na gagamitin sa mga part ng cellphone na yun. For example, is like, ang function nito is para hindi ma-overcharge or hindi mag-malfunction yung technology na ginagamit na yung magiging byproduct or yung finished product ng technology na ginamitan ng mga 10 film na yun. So, overall, these approaches is a technique that nanomaterials are made more durable para mas maging durable or stronger, lighter, water repellent, extra violent, or interfere resistant. Or in other words, yung itong mga technique na to, itong mga new approaches na to is mas na-enhance niya yung mga technology. Nagkakaroon sila ng mga scratch resistance, electrical conductive, anti-reflective, anti-bug, or antimicrobial. Meron din mga self-cleaning itong mga product na kapag nakaka-produce sila ng mga product is nagkakaroon siya ng mga characteristic nito. So, ang mga approaches na to is na-enhance niya yung finished product na mariresolve ng isang technology.
After discussing what is nanotechnology, we are going to proceed now to the possible benefit, which both the pros and cons of nanotechnology. By the way, I am Shaima Batalo and tasked to discuss the pros or the positive benefits of nanotechnology in environmental, health, and economic sector. So we are going to start in environmental sector. So one of the great impact of nanotechnology is it addresses environmental challenges. By harnessing nanomaterials and nano devices, we can significantly improve the detection and removal of contaminants from air, water, and soil. This capability not only safeguards our ecosystem but also ensures a healthier future for generations to come. Second is that nanotechnology also facilitates the development of many industrial processes and materials. Through innovative techniques and materials design, we can also reduce resource money consumption, minimize waste generation, and mitigate the environment impact in industrial activities. This not only benefits the planet but also fosters sustainable economic growth. So second will be in the health sector. So on the other hand, in health sector, its benefit is it improved medicine. Nanotechnology offers unprecedented opportunities for advancements from targeted drug delivery systems to nano-based diagnostic tools. So the precision and efficacy of medical interventions are significantly enhanced. This translates into improved patients' outcomes, reduced treatment side effects, and ultimately a higher quality of life for individuals worldwide. So furthermore, the positive impact of nanotechnology also extend in economic realm by driving innovation and fostering the development of cutting-edge technologies. Nanotechnology fuels economic growth and prosperity. It creates a new market, generates employment opportunities, and enhances competitiveness on a global scale. So, in conclusion, the positive impact of nanotechnology is undeniable, from environmental sustainability to healthcare advancement and economic prosperity. Its benefits are far-reaching and transformative. As we continue to explore and harness the power of the nanoscale world, let us do responsibly, ensuring that these advancements serve the greater good of humanity in our planet.